Righteous looks like I didn't sign up. What?
Good
Oh,
evening,
fuck.
everybody.
No, we have a seating attendance
We'll be
issue.
right
Fuck.
back. Sorry about that. A little bit of confusion with some of the drivers. Welcome to round 7 at Silverstone with Tier 2 of ARC F1 Series. Um, some crazy stuff happened last week. We had a bunch of point differentials between some of the drivers. Van gaining 13 points on Rosefest. MLG losing out uh, quite a bit. We don't have the current standings right now because unfortunately one of our admins tacked is he has passed away to the Great White North in Winnipeg. He has been captured by the Jets, and we don't know if he'll return or not. So F in chat for tact. But we will persevere and we will carry on in his memory.
R.I.P. Tack. I mean, what can you do when a pack of 64 wild rabbits just come on and attack you?
I don't have my. There we go. All right.
Oh, is it
Welcome,
currently
Kia.
raining?
Yes, I've heard wet race. Is this so? Check out the telemetry app at.
Storm in 0 minutes. Oh, it's storm weather the entire time.
All that brings back some kind of memories.
Oh god. Oh
Well,
yeah.
looks like we'll just see a bunch of
Oh. Oh yes.
soft tire runs here. So we should see hopefully some good
Oh,
good
absolutely.
hard laps.
Unlike Captain, who I believe just exited on, on the medium tires. Not sure if that's Captain or Lepson, but it's one of the Mercedes. That'll be Captain. GG. GG. Obviously, you know the regular dry strategy would be a soft medium. Fairly easily, you could go medium soft, hit lap 16, make it to the end. But yeah, 26 laps around Silverstone. We're going to be wet, so the race is going to go a bit longer. It's just the nature that wet laps do take longer than dry laps, but they're also going to be more productive racing.
Quite more interesting racing indeed. We're on board with Astro, the first hot lapper. Had a couple cars to contend with. They dove out of the way in turn 1 to get out of the way of him. We don't need to worry about tires because everyone's going to be on softs. So we have a yellow flag. Car's going slow.
That's really unfortunate for the people who decided to load their setup and then it didn't look at the weather. Like MLG, MLG did not look at the weather. He's serving a quali ban for accruing 15 penalty points, 12 of which came for ignoring blue flags on the last broadcast. You would have heard Gypsy and I lamenting at that. But yeah, MLG loaded his dry setup and then retired, not realizing it was going to rain the entire race. That is unfortunate for him. R.I.P.
You want to soften up that suspension, raise the ride height a little bit, maybe change your downforce, depends. So it should be an interesting struggle for him.
I'm sure he's not the only one, because just because he retired, everyone who's out right now has already committed to whatever setup they had when they left the pits. That is the virtue of Parc Fermé, the closed park, if you are French or pretentious.
One and the same. Astro with a 125. Not a horrible lap from him.
We're expecting about a second off, though.
Yeah.
Chewy, 125.8. He wasn't going to break any new ground. Meat Shield coming in behind him, 126.3. That's around about expected for these guys is just relative pace amongst the crew.
One of our contenders for the championship, Van's coming across with a 126.2. He was doing a lot better than that in practices before, so must have been a tough lap for him. Van competing with Wags and Rosefest. They are the top contenders for the championship halfway through the season here.
Looks like Blaze Alex is going to be coming through Cops now on a hot lap. We should probably ride along with him. Lifts just a bit. Something that it's kind of iffy whether you need to do or not. Definitely in tier 2, I would just not take the risk of clapping into a wall. Breaks fairly late down to Beckett's, comes around onto the hanger straight now, deploying the DRS in good time. He's sticking fairly to the right. He's going to start coming over to the left for Stowe now. Puts himself not totally on the left side of the track, coming through now down to Vale, but he invalidates. He invalidates in Stowe and dives into the pits.
Quick from him. Wasn't looking too speedy. He lost a little bit of time in some of those corners there. Yeah, lifting through Cops. If you have the right setup and the right amount of gumption, you can go flat through there.
Especially with low fuel in qualifying, you should have really no problem with just sending her.
Oh, Rosefest, top of the stack here. Once M beaten immediately by Lepson, almost 3 tenths faster than him with a 125.1. Yeah, we should see. Well, I'd say we'd see a lot of penalties in the dry because people like to really extend some of these S's and especially push out wide in Cops. And Babushka is trying to destroy his car, it looks like. But in the wet, people being more careful, I don't know. We'll see. I am not the strongest wet driver. I can do full wet. I can't do intermediate. Full wet's easy to predict because it just sucks always. But
yeah, especially
intermediates.
Changing conditions is so hard to nail correctly because your line is constantly changing lap to lap. As you're getting more comfortable, you want to have more confidence in the car and you understand the conditions more, but they just keep getting worse. So your braking point, you think it's moving forward because you can brake later, you know how to handle the car, but it's actually getting further and further back.
Atmosphere invalidating his lap into the second sector, so he will have to back off of that. I don't know who's coming out of the pits right now. We got a McLaren coming out. Looks like Sadist is coming out for a lap. Looks like he's on a hot lap. Yes, he is. Wags hasn't come out yet. And obviously Alex. Ooh, big, huge lockup from Sadist coming around. I don't know the corner names. I think this is starts with an L. Lovefield, thank you. Coming on the long straight into Cops, hugging the inside to shave as much time off as you can. You really want to ride that on the edge like he is. And he will stay completely flat through Cops, either probably thanks to maybe a higher downforce setup from the, if he loaded his wet setup. Keeping it pretty flat through Maggots and Beckett's, coming into Chapel. Keeping it pretty tidy. Down into the DRS zone for the final few turns.
Breaks a bit early there, and he's having to let off to make sure he doesn't invalidate.
Interesting
Probably
approach, but
yeah, you're going to want to keep it more consistent and go deeper into the corner than that when you start to turn. Coming through Vale now, not having the best time, does lock up, comes across the line now, only setting a 127, sorry, a 122. But that was a good point about the wet setup. I think some of the guys who haven't come out yet were looking up a wet setup because they didn't have one in hand. That's definitely what I would do, and that's what I did do a lot of the time. I would never bother with a dry qualifying setup. I'd go, if I didn't have one on hand, I'd go look up a wet setup from a trusted source.
if it rains, I just roll the dice anyway because I am no good. So I straighten out the wheels, soften it up a little bit, raise the ride height, a little bit more wing, and drop those tire pressures all the way down and just kind of hope for the best. Driving in the wets, an art form. I guess I just don't have the. I'm
Definitely
too.
is- looks
I think
like
I'm too
there's
timid.
Looks like there's a traffic jam coming into to turn 3 here. Rad's having to get out of the way a few times, bringing out some yellow flags. And it looks like, is that a Red Bull who spun? That'll be Svort, who's spun after turn 2. He's gonna be riding the runoff here.
Two
Yeah,
oars.
Not
Zort.
entirely
Zrout.
sure what's. Yeah, that one. Not entirely sure what's happening to that corner, but it looks like a few people were getting slowed down there. Looks like Astro's gonna be on a hot lap following his teammate Rose, who's giving him a massive tow down the first DRS straight. Very good from him.
He has 2/10 up on his time currently as he comes into the left field.
Coming down the old start finish now. I believe this might still be where the GT3 start. Not 100%.
It is.
Cops will have to see if he goes flat. He obviously didn't last time. He does, keeps it in. Very good from him. Doesn't even come close to invalidating, so really not sure what the previous hesitations were from some of the other drivers. Yeah, that's exactly how you want to do it. You want to lift a bit, just downshift to really get the car rotated. Coming through the hangar straight now, DRS down, not being able to get a tow from that from the Alfa Romeo. That's a bit unfortunate, but it should not be that bad. Yeah, that's exactly how you want to do that. You want to keep it wide. You don't necessarily want to hug the apex through stow. Coming into Vale now. No lockups. That's really good. Accelerated across. Good. Doesn't shift up until after the corner. 4th, 5th, 6th. And he's going to come across the line with, just a 10th under pole time. That is a 1:25.2. Very close from Astro. I wonder if he's not going to... Yeah, he is going to be giving his teammate, Rosefest, who's now behind him starting his hot lap, the tow down that DRS straight.
They got a couple of Ferraris around him too. Looks like they might be trying to do the same thing.
But
No.
it looks like Astro might actually be just a bit too far away to actually meaningfully help his teammate. He might be setting up for a hanger straight tow instead. You definitely want to play the team game here. Your combined success, especially these guys not only competing for the World Drivers' Championship, but the constructors as well. It's of course we don't have the standings to hand, RIP TAC, but they are in contention at least. I believe it's fairly close between the two alphas, if I'm not mistaken.
Between who? The Alfa Romeos?
Yeah, Alfa Romeos and Alfa Tauris.
Ooh. Oh,
Rose
Wags.
has
Wags
Sorry,
was-
Rose has a little moment coming out of Vegas there, and
We were-
just gets a bit wide.
We were hanging on board with him. It's gonna really. I don't know if his lap time is going to
Yeah, it looks like he
Yeah, he's-
abandons and he's gonna come into the pits.
go into the pits. You'd have to check the standings. I don't have them on me at the moment.
Well, luckily they're
You know what I should
skip
do?
away.
I should start making a widget to put on the live screen so we can see that. Upping my
wow, it looks
broadcasting
like-
game. No laps
looks-
from. Go ahead.
Sorry, it looks just for the standings. It looks like Ferrari are actually ahead of Alfa Romeo, with Blaze Alex kind of dragging his teammate along. No, Wag, sorry, dragging his teammate along. Very good for him.
Yeah, Wags having a good season. I was gonna say no times yet from Babush and Mr. Blaze Alex here.
Left
Who
Sunset
is on his
an even
lap?
faster time, drops 1/10 from his full time a while ago.
A 10th?
Yeah, he was a 1:25.2 and then he got a 1:25.1. Was he not?
Oh. Unless we missed it, I thought it was always 125.1. Regardless, still on provisional pole. We do have a couple. There is a little bit more time for some of these guys to get out and challenge that, of course. Not a lot of time in the top 8. Just
Yeah,
over a
Blaze
second.
Alex out here on mediums. Listen, Alex, if you're listening to the stream, you know it's gonna be a wet race. I'm not sure why you're on the mediums. I guess that's just BDE. I'm not sure.
He likes them. He does it a lot. So maybe there's a secret. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
Obviously not that good. Coming out only a P14, which considering how wet the race is going to be.
He already invalidates turn 1 anyway, so it's gonna be a useless hot lap from him.
considering how wet the race is going to be, it's not too important starting wise because
you do want to give yourself every advantage, though, of course.
Of course, I predict either absolutely nothing lap 1 or just chaos. No in between. Babushka staying flat through Cops, coming in for the S's of Maggots and Beckett's. Staying completely flat. Take as much of the curbing as you can. Getting a little bit on the dirt is fine. He gets a little bit loose, but keeps it together. Babushka, definitely one of the speedier boys. Kind of has bad luck sometimes, but has been doing not so bad here in Tier 2. A little bit of lockup at the end. Kind of a slow start through the last couple corners. 125.7. Should put him in a decent position. Half a second ahead of his teammate, who is coming in for his on and out lap. Van's trying to get as many. I mean, he's really blown away expectations this season.
Yeah, he's doing fantastic, and it looks like if we just tuned to Sadist, it looks like he might be on a hot lap after coming on a cooldown and abandoning his previous lap. But yeah, I'm not sure how well this is going to be. Maybe he isn't on a hot lap and he's just on 2 ERS for no reason. But that was, yeah, 4 seconds off. Never mind.
Nothing coming from him. We will hang out with Vans. How did Wags finish last week? Is Vans in second place now? I don't know. We'll find out. Both McLarens not doing so bad. Pretty close to each other. Figlin, our every once in a while driver, up in the top 10.
I believe Wags did not race last week.
So he lost out a decent amount of points. So yeah, that would put Vans in second. Just ahead of him. What did we say? 13 or so points behind Rosefest.
Yeah, a giant chunk of points there. Of course, we are only on round 7. I believe we're going to 12, so just over halfway through the season. Is that correct? We're doing 12 rounds?
This would be the second half. 12, yes.
Alright. We aim to end before the new game comes out. Give ourselves just a little break, and then head straight back into it.
We'll see if we adopt that. In the meantime, we do have some other offerings. Van's coming across the line. Only P6, just ahead of his teammate. So a lot of teammates here putting out similar times across the board.
Yeah, we're not exactly seeing the cream of the crop, as we'd call it. These times are not exactly as high as we'd expect. And that is actually qualifying concluded.
Yep. Everyone's some drivers starting to retire. A lot still out on the circuit. So as they cross the line, we will come to an end. Looks like one of the racing points. Looks like Eric is going to be the next one across the line for a timed lap. He does not improve. The Ferrari behind him. These are probably some, what do you call them, in-laps from some of these drivers. What should it tell us?
I wish it would. I do believe the timing might be bugged anyway, because it does look like Blaze Alex is able to start his hot lap.
Oh, yes.
Was behind the aforementioned racing point.
That is right.
So they probably have a minute and a half or so.
The spectator host bug. It's either that or the timing board doesn't work bug. You know, one or the other.
And it looks like Blaze Alex lost out on a fair chunk of time there. Coming through Cops, he did lift quite a lot. And that is our pole sitter at the moment. Retired. Wags is only 6 thousandths behind him.
I was going to say, while we were talking, he just crossed the line. Almost got it, just barely. So, good effort from him. Qualifying ahead of Rosefest and Van as well. So, important for him to try and get some better track position at the start. And
Blaze Alex improving by 0.6, but not enough to actually get anywhere in the top 10. I think just too many mistakes on the few laps he did. And that is the conclusion of our qualifying. Everyone else is coming into the pits. Tell me, Twitch, are you ready for a low bit rate? Because that is what rain means. It means low bit rate.
low bit rate how?
Well, I mean, the bit rate's gonna be... you only have so many pixels, right? And when there's... it's gonna look bit ratey because it's gonna need to cover too many... It's gonna look pixely.
Those compression algorithms?
Yeah. It's just, you know, when there's rain, it's too many pixels to try to represent, and not enough data. Rain, confetti, snow, it all looks garbage on YouTube and Twitch, unfortunately. And there we have it. Lepson on pole, Wags P2, 6 1,000ths behind. Oof. Astro coming in a cool, just 10th behind them. Rose in P4, almost 3/10ths down. And Juan Saria P5, 3.5 tenths. And the rest of the grid. I wonder why Van has decided... How often does he change his flag? I think that's like maybe every week. He's from Hong Kong now. So, you know what? Free Hong Kong. There you go, Van. That's for you.
1 second separating the top 10, and then quite a bit after that. And here we are.
Rain. Gotta love it.
Cody's really putting in the detail there, making sure everybody has an umbrella.
I see a guy with his hood up. That must be very effective. Hopefully, you know, the lobby doesn't break for the, well, I don't know, 7th week in a row or something ridiculous. Thanks, Cody's. Love this game. Yes, it's full wet. We call it storm weather. It is full wet until the very end of the race, at which point it will transition to light rain towards the end. But I do not expect the conditions to improve to mediums. Or, sorry, to inters.
No, not at all. So, alright, so, full wets can go the entire distance. Do you keep them? Do you go for a pit stop if you don't need to? If you don't have any damage? In my single player attempts, I have done... Wow, we are getting RPM bugs like crazy from Lepson. I have done plenty a zero-stop full wet race.
Yeah, because obviously you're not required. You do have the mandatory pit stop in dry weather, but not in wet weather. That is a good point. I do think that these drivers won't be able to control their wet tires enough. I think the high numbers are going to scare them, and they're probably going to pit. They might split the difference and do it halfway through. Or they might just try to stretch them out and see if the weather does come.
Well, we'll see what Jeff says. Jeff is quite the Renaissance man, being an engineer as well as a meteorologist. Just an all-around solid chap.
Yeah, what he is an eloquent speaker or somebody who has good timing. Looks like a lot of these drivers are not even bothering to try to heat up their tires. I think it's gonna kill a lot of them on the grid.
What does the temperature say it is?
On track?
Yep.
No idea. But I can see that most of the drivers are between 58 to 65 degrees on their tires.
Oh, I know why I'm not getting any on-screen telemetry, because I don't have the telemetry app on. Stand by.
MLG collides with Drakenwolf, put to the back of the grid. Or not the back of the grid. They are at the back of the grid, but they're put back to the grid, waiting for the formation lap to end.
There we are. Right. Well, 5 red lights and then quite a bit of weight here in the British Grand Prix.
And I can see that Drakenwolf is tapped out as the race begins. Everyone gets away fairly well, coming through turn 1 now.
Yep,
Lots of spray.
Getting a decent start.
Some people going wide. Oh, already Calamity. The Renault's dropping to the back, as well as the Haas. And the Williams is spun. That'll be Drakenwolf, Fig, and Rad in the back.
No safety car yet. So, well, I was wrong. There was some in between. But everyone else keeping it pretty clean. Just looks like a little bit of collision between some of the drivers there. Figlin losing out 12 positions there. Rad losing out 8. But Rad is still kept up with the pack. The rest of them not so much.
Blaze Alex up 6 positions so far off the start. Atmosphere up 4.
Well, everyone's spreading out a little bit. Not a lot of bravery so far. Alex is right on the back of Juan.
Yeah, Captain was following Meat Shield fairly closely. Interestingly, AWS might predict a 3-stop strategy for the wet runners. I would only say that if your car is broken.
One of the looks like Quirk, one of the Racing Points, having a bit of trouble there into the exit of Beckett's, rejoining alongside Figlin. Alex getting by Juan into the final turns here. Pretty easy overtake, not too bad. I know Alex has done pretty well in the past in wet weather, and a Renault looks like Atmosphere getting loose out of the final corner. No collisions, but it was a yellow flag. Well, I'm having that timing bug anyway, so it really doesn't matter. So we'll wait and see what happens. Top 5 close together. Babushka leading the rest of the pack. Babushka picking up the first warning, or the first penalty of the race, only at the start of lap 2. So I'm sure he's frustrated. Well, if you have traction control available in the series, do you just turn it on for this race?
Yeah, I mean, there is really no shame in enabling assists, especially to make it... Yeah, the phone she's on, I can get you. There is no shame in turning on your assists, honestly. Gore did it yesterday. He realized he was about a second off his pace on line, so during his second stint, he turned back on the line, the racing line, and was able to recover somewhat, but not fully. I do think that what is important racing is not the purity, as we see Chewy spinning out, braking, not contacting anyone. That's good. Turns around on track. But the importance in racing is and he just right in the middle of the racing line, going very slowly. He gets past on the hanger straight, very close to contact there. But racing is about having fun, not necessarily the purity of the sport. So if you don't enjoy driving without traction, I would turn it on as Chewy ducks into the pits now. Looks like Babu already has a penalty. Not sure what that's for.
Yeah, multiple multiple extension warnings at the beginning of lap 2.
Wow.
So he's having some issues, it looks like.
Looks like Blaze Alex is on his rear end. He's going to be looking for a move soon enough.
Again, the top 5 still pretty close together. Would be a DRS train if we had any. But Alex is working his way up 7 positions up from the start. Like I said, he wasn't too worried probably about his starting position.
MLG obviously serving the quality ban up 5 positions so far off the start. Quan's dropped 3 from the starting Q5, unfortunate for him. And the rest of the grid at the top has stayed just about the same. They are, of course, outside of 1 second of each other. That again doesn't matter if you don't have the RS enabled anyway for a wet race.
One of the Williams having some issue into Lowfield. Lowfield? Lowfield?
Luffield.
Lowfield.
Luff.
Juan sticking with Mr. Zeitzatoon Blaze Alex. I really don't like the name change.
Yeah, we really need to get on that. But 2 fastest laps set, very quick succession from Lepson and then Wags. Wags looks like he's, remaining fairly close to Lepson, but obviously you probably don't want to be the lead car to pack. It's just easier to stick behind somebody and keep consistent with their pace. But it does look like Juan is able to recover some time onto Alex coming through these turns. Captain now close to meet Shield, and a little pack is forming here as Pores or Zrout spins in turn 4.
And Meat Shield picked up a 10-second corner cutting penalty.
Good lord.
He must have just cut right across turn 1 or turn 2. I'm not sure which one.
I mean, his only chance now is just to go to the ends on these wets and have that removed, I guess, because that would not be brilliant for him.
Juan right on the back of Alex, possibly looking for a move or trying to avoid any potential collision. Backs off quite a lot through cops. Both of them are right on the back of Babushka, who is now 6 seconds off Van, who is keeping about a half second back from Rosefest, who's now fallen back a little bit. So Van looking to recover more points on Rosefest as another Williams issue into Lowfield.
And it looks like, Babu 6 seconds off Van. He's definitely the, he's the rear end plug of the Alfa Romeo, keeping everything else out.
Dragon Wolf having quite a lot of issues. This is the second spin in as many turns.
Unfortunate for him, gets passed by Chewy. No drama there.
We're going to hang out with Van and Rosefest, who have now caught up to Astro. I don't know if Astro fell back or they caught up, but they have moved half a second up on Babu now. Ooh, Van getting a little squirrely there. Oh, it could also just be his lag. Not really sure. We'll hang out with these guys for a little bit. Lepson putting some distance on Wags, who's putting some distance on Astro. So, barring any issues from them, they stay clean. I think the top 2 might stay the top 2. I mean,
yeah, at this point,
19 laps early, but I'm calling it.
Tire conservation isn't really a thing here.
21.
It's just you want to just make sure you're able to consistently and cleanly get these laps out. As there's a racing point spun on the first DRS straight.
Van is having little bouts of traction on Rosefest. Oh no, and he almost loses it.
That's probably the lag, because I've not seen the same thing.
Yep, it is. So we're going to hang out with...
He's going to get past here. Or he might, taking the outside into Vale from the inside and Stowe, but Rose is able to just put his Alpha Tauri right in the way of that Alfa Romeo. Coming through the final turn now. And it looks like no, Van is losing some ground to them. That was a valiant attempt from Van, but he's probably going to want to wait until he gets a bit more overspeed. Just tuck in behind, let him know that you're there and ready to pounce as soon as, it does kind of look like Van crashed, doesn't it, Cricket?
Apologies. Yeah, it looked like Van was, had quite a run on him. on the hanger straight, and then from my perspective, he just binned it into the gravel. But obviously he did not. He is still on track. Still in P5.
And that is what we call a Kmart connection, gentlemen.
Move out of the sticks. I was actually looking into his internet connection. I'm not...
Oh! Sorry, Juan Soria is going to get past Blaze Alex coming through whatever the hell that was. And into Cops now, down the old GT3 start-finish. Blaze Alex just gets wide, and Juan Soria takes advantage of the opportunity and gets by.
Looks like Atmosphere having another spin party.
I mean, really, at this point, Van should just try hot spotting. How much is data anyway?
So we're looking at his connection, and his traffic is being routed. I'm sorry, this is boring. His traffic is being routed about 70 miles north of him before it exits. So it's not even... His IP doesn't even seem like it's coming from him. It's coming from a city about 70 miles north of him, and there's a bunch of hops in between, so that's why his latency is so bad at times. So.
Yellow flags coming into turn 3. That's going to be unfortunate. Is that Babushka or Van? Looks like it might have been Van, because he dropped 4 seconds back. And it looks like the McLaren also spun into, I'm going to call it Cops. I can't tell exactly. But yeah, Van lost a chunk of time, 5 seconds off that mistake through turn 3. I'm not sure if we caught that on stream.
We were on board with 6 through 9 here.
Yeah, it looks like Juan, after getting past Blaze Alex, is definitely caught up to the rear of Babu, and I'd expect Babu to be the next domino to fall to the Juan Soria game. Oh, and it looks like Van's going really wide and loses 2 spots out of Cops. Sorry, 3 positions out of Cops itself. Does he have damage? Oh, yes, he does. Yes, he does. 100% left wing damage for Van. Unfortunate, and that's exactly the kind of stuff that can really throw up into the air the results of a race. Sorry, a wet race, because it's not exactly the on-track overtaking that really matters. Chewy might be retiring from the session. He's left while he's in the pit lane.
Yes, he did. He did retire on his way into the pits.
All right.
So
But yeah, that's ooh, Quansaria locks, almost rear-ending Babu. But yeah, the thing that really makes a wet race interesting isn't exactly the overtaking. The overtaking is kind of not spectacular when you have to slum it through, and you know nobody's driving the most clean they've ever driven in their life. What's interesting is who's gonna slam into a wall, who's gonna lose it and drop a few tenths.
Well, Van will be pitting, and he will come out in very very clean air ahead of him. The Mercedes? Oh, that is Captain. Looks like a collision. I do not know what's happening here.
Yeah, ducking down
to...
to...
virtual safety car,
Yep.
Captain,
oh, okay.
Captain is in the wall to the left of,
Yes, he is. I'm not sure.
Turn 3.
Yeah, I think that might... I'd put money on that being a collision. I'm not sure exactly how you can get there, other than if you try to save a really gnarly slide out of the kink after turn 1 and you just clap a wall. That's just about it. But yeah, that is virtual safety car. Coming out a bit late to really help Van, but at least it was partially there for him.
Yeah, he will recover some of that time in the pits. He is coming out right behind Quark.
Van's just not... Oh, he had to meet a Delta.
Yep.
And that's Babu with the drive-through penalty for speeding under safety car.
Oh, the pain.
Oh, how many times is he gonna do that? It's a really common mistake for these guys to make.
Well, you want to stay as close to the Delta, and you really don't want to give up a lot of time, but drive-through...
2 tenths is not worth the risking drive-through.
Drive-through versus half a second, I guess.
Yeah.
One of the Red Bulls looks like Zrout having some issues. He might have damage as well.
Definitely looks like now, yeah, really bad race for both Alfa Romeos. It's going to be a recovery drive from them.
Babu's serving his drive-through now, actually.
Yep, as the AlphaTauri's leading the constructors, as far as we know. We haven't seen updated stats yet.
Rest in peace, Tech.
Yeah, R.I.P. And it does look like, I mean, there's a fair gap between them. I think the gaps are all sorting out just a bit. Figlin quite close to the rear of Eric. These two drivers, a bit wild cardy, I would say. MLG behind State is 7/10. We'll have to see if Figlin's able to get the car down early. He is in overtake through the corner, trying to get a run on Eric, but Eric is also deploying his overtake. You're able to save a lot during BSC. Figlin looks to the inside, but obviously he's way too far back. That's probably just an intimidation tactic. He puts himself on the inside again. That was nearly a bad move there. Babu taking a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings. You gotta say, is luck a game of averages? Because if it is, and that's, you know, oh, Hamilton gets lucky because he's good and he's able to take advantage of his luck. Is Babu, I don't want to say he's bad, but he is very unlucky, and it doesn't seem like he's really able to take advantage of anything with how he does put himself into positions where it's unfortunate for him, is what I'll say.
Some of it, I believe, is risk-reward. Figlin looking for a move.
Yep. Coming up the inside of Stowe, that's a bit risky given the conditions, but he's able to just make it work. Both of them holding their lines well, and that is Figlin pass through Stowe into Vale, into P9. Ooh, Eric nearly rear-ending him. And that's Lepson getting passed by Wags?
Lepson with a penalty as well.
We did not see that, unfortunately.
Yeah, some of it's risk-reward. Is some of it just unlucky? Because he's not slow.
No, but at the same time, like, you can't say that track extension is unlucky. It's really not. It's you are risking the warning every time you do it. It's, you know, he got 12 seconds in Austria and lost a very good position against his teammate Van, who got no penalties.
Sorry.
And that's full safety car.
Full safety car. One of the Alfa Romeos, that is Babushka, off turn 2, and he is retired.
And he's retired. He's retired and rejoining into the track. Generally, we ask that drivers retire. Generally we ask that drivers retire in the pits because his AI is blocking atmosphere pretty hardcore at the moment.
But he will.
That might be
pull off to the side here.
That might be a lot of salt on the wound to rub in, as atmosphere route quirk, and hopefully Drakenwolf will be let by the safety car in order to not be a lap down.
Safety car is out and sitting on the track waiting for the leaders to come around.
And unfortunately, Drakenwolf's pit stop is going to make him a lap down unless Wags is a benevolent dictator and lets him by, which obviously he isn't. And there we go. Do you pit now under safety car, or do you survive with your 25% worn wet tires?
So let's see, we're 11 laps in, we're 25%. I mean...
It's heavy rain for another 15 minutes until it transitions to light rain. The question is, does light rain mean interconditions? Who knows?
Depends on how soon
I'm sure Jeff knows. Ask Jeff. If you're a driver listening right now, just ask Jeff and he'll tell you.
I stay on the wet. If I'm checking the weather and Jeff says light rain and so on and so forth, usually light rain means there's going to be a tire change, and the wets are going to be no good if the rain stops and
unfortunately, P9 through 12 does not listen to you because they are in the pits. Might be wing changes, like I believe MLG just took a wing change, but I don't think the other guys did. They just pit for new tires, and unfortunate.
Lepson going on to intermediates. Alex going on to intermediates.
Interesting. It doesn't look like there's been a change in intensity. We are still technically in what the game documents call storm weather for another 10 minutes before we transition to light rain. Sorry, light rain in 10 minutes. So yeah, storm weather for another 10. So I don't really see the change that would come from that. But you know what? You do you, Jeff. If that's what Jeff said, you listen to Jeff. we'll have to look at the lap times and the grip levels for these cars. It might be a masterclass strat from Lepson, really.
Now there is a line forming, a racing line forming of no standing water, so possibly could work. Yeah, we'll have to see what the temperatures are like and how those tires are doing. If your pace is fine, don't bother changing, but I mean, Lepson's not going to be that far back, so either he's going to gain a lot of time or lose out a lot of time here, and we will find out probably in 2 more laps as the drivers are coming around. And there's a Haas MLG off at Maggots and Beckett's.
Just to answer a question in chat, no, there is no mandatory pit stop for wet weather tires. It's only in dry conditions are you required to stop.
If at any point during the race, so if you start on intermediates and then 2 laps later go on to dries, you can run softs for the entire rest of the race. You don't have to change. You don't have to do that dry compound change.
If you start on wets, you also can end on that same set of wets.
Yes, the exact same set of tires. So no compound change.
Yeah, you don't need to stop, except that it might, in some cases, be quicker because obviously the tires in real life have they have that tire, what's it called, the cliff baked into them, so they do fall off at a certain point. Their performance just dips, and it might be a better idea to pit earlier than to just go the entire way. But we obviously don't have any tire modeling data to tell you which is the correct call.
Yeah, the compounds in real life wear, so they're designed to expel as much water as possible, provide as much wet grip as possible. So when the temperatures and conditions or pressures that you're putting the tires under, they can wear a set of intermediates down to slicks pretty easily. The wet tires as well will wear down eventually. They last a little bit longer, especially if it's colder, but these tires heat up very quickly. So they're very soft compound tires, but you know.
Well, I do have news that we are not going to see any dry running at any point in this race. It's projected to rain for at least another 45 minutes, and obviously we have more than 45 minutes. We have less than 45 minutes left in this race. So it is going to transition to light rain soon, 5-10 minutes, but it is not here yet. But as you do say, there is a line forming. Now I wonder if that's enough for the game.
Well, only 2 drivers, Zrout and Quirk, needing to catch up. Dragonwolf stuck in the middle of the pack here. He is stuck between P2 and P3.
MLG taking a 5-second penalty for severe collision with atmosphere. He is the trailing car. That might stand.
The other 2 drivers should catch up unless they have some problems. Well, this ought to be very interesting. Everyone kind of back in the mix, except for those that have retired. Yeah, so intermediate big brain play from Lepson and Alex here. We shall see what happens, Cricket.
Captain has just tendered his resignation in chat from reserving. Unfortunate for him.
No more racing from him whatsoever.
He said, "I'm done reserving here. Good luck."
All right. Well, thanks for playing.
07. I salute the a GSR member. Fallen. unfortunate.
Safety car is coming in. Drivers have caught up. The safety car will be coming in, and it is up to Wags to set that pace. The game will... Well, they do it in real life, too. Ooh, Figlin with a 5-second for running into Eric. Oh, no. Eric ran into him, it looks like.
Unfortunate.
So, yeah, Wags setting that go time. He has not gone yet, and now he has. He didn't get quite... He got a little bit of a jump on Rosefest. Not too bad. Rosefest definitely got a much better jump on Juan, but...
That is really unfortunate for Draken, who has to filter all the way to the back because he was a blue flags back marker. Unfortunate for him.
Yes, indeed. Everyone keeping it...
Oh, Blaze Alex going for a move on Astro. It does look like the Inters do have the pace because he is really catching up here, and he might go for a move into... yeah, he is going for a move here. No. Tucks back in behind, realize he doesn't have to run on him just yet. Does rear end Astro, though. That is unfortunate. And the Renault trying to sneak up the inside. The Renault of Rad colliding with the side pod of Blaze Alex, and he has to back out just a bit. Blaze Alex still trying to go side by side with that AlphaTauri of Astro, coming down the old start finish. He realizes the wet dry is braking so much quicker than him. Oh, this cannot end well. They're going side by side through Maggots and Beckett's. Blaze Alex breaks later, and I think he does get the position from Astro. Very good move from him. Very fine driving to not kill each other.
Sorry for the exclamation there. Ooh, Alex all up in the dirt. Alex was right on the gearbox of Astro coming into Cops.
Yep.
And at the exit of Cops, Astro ducked right, and Alex did not lift and stayed left, and then got by him there. Rad now looking for a move on the outside.
That is Blaze Alex killed Eric, who careens across the track. Rejoins into the path. Oh, thank God for ghosting. But that was an unreasonable rejoin and also an unreasonable move, I have to say, from Blaze Alex. Kind of disappointed at the tier of that kind of racing.
We caught a little bit of that in the background, it looked like, but we didn't get quite a lot.
Oh, and that's atmosphere off. Atmosphere off. Turn 3, I call it. No, turn 2. Turn 2.
Left's on now, almost 2 seconds ahead of Rosefest on those intermediates.
Yeah, the intermediates, he's setting purple sectors. The intermediates are definitely the right tire, and it does look like everyone else is chumps for not fitting under the safety car.
Wags, Meat Shield, Van, and Sadist have all gone into the pits for intermediates.
Now, I do want to clarify that it is pretty likely, as one of the AlphaTauris is now off, that is Astro spinning on those wets. I do want to clarify that, in all likelihood, the people who came in were the ones who got called by Jeff to hit in. Eric also spinning at that same turn that Astro spun just before him. And wow, this looks like everyone's struggling out here.
Alex going for a move into Chapel on Figlin, but Figlin just says, nope, not giving it up. Pushes him wide into the dirt at the entrance to Chapel. That was Figlin's line to keep, and he did not budge. So Alex will have to go for another look at a later time as Figlin now ducks into the pits, probably for his intermediate tires as well. Yeah. Lots of pace. So now Alex will inherit second place, and will probably keep it for the remainder of the race.
Yeah, I think it's just becoming clearer and clearer that pitting was definitely the right move under safety car. Really unfortunate for the guys who were not able to. And it looks like that might actually hand in. As long as these inters, I don't think they can. I was just about to say, as long as these inters can last, but it doesn't look like they can. Lepson on 2 laps on these inters. Sorry, 4 laps on these inters. 2 of them under safety car. He's up to 10% wear. And we have 10 laps remaining. I don't think he can make it. That's asking a lot for these things. They might crash. They might, just lose their grip, hit something else. It's going to be a toughie to bring those to the end for the guys who pit early onto the inters. Obviously, might still be able to do it, but it definitely will be a challenge to keep the grip levels up. But it does look like Lepson is really running away with it here. 7-second gap to Blaze Alex, and Zrout the only one who hasn't pit yet. Drakenwolf just pit onto hard tires. Not sure what he's thinking there. Actually, I do know what he's thinking there. I think he'll be thinking to himself, I'm really struggling right now. The inters will have less grip. I'm going to go on the wets because they'll have more grip. When in reality, it's going to be harder to heat up the wets, and they are going to be worse to drive on than the inters. I think inters is always the right move. You definitely want to suit the track that you're driving on.
So Wags passing everyone in the pits to take fourth. Zrout staying out is in a little pocket between Zeit and Wags. Rosefest coming out of the pits up in the fifth position.
He's got 30 seconds. That might be a bit of a stroke of brilliance. He just set a 1:44.5. It's a 1:38.6 from Blaze Alex ahead of him, which means that the deficit is about 6 seconds a lap. 10 laps to go. No, that still doesn't make sense. Unfortunately for him.
Van gave Meat Shield a little tap coming into the final turn. He's got the pace on Meat Shield and is trying to get by to recoup some of this so he can get more positions on track. He will take, Meat Shield's got that 10-second, and we'll see if that stands or not. Because that is Meat Shield hasn't served that penalty. Unless he got another one?
Interesting.
Zrout falling a little bit back into Wags, but yeah, the top two are gone now.
They certainly are, and Zrout really staying out that extra lap on the wets. I don't think he realizes the pace difference, and he spun anyway, and that just saves it from the barrier there. But he's gonna have to rejoin carefully. Yep, nobody around.
So Rosefest is gonna come through past him. Or up on the back. He's going to have quite a lot of speed.
I think this is really a case of the pit strategy dictating the outcome of this race. It's very clear that going on to the inters for the safety car really was the only choice. Everyone else is really suffering, and they're fighting for scraps from the people who were able to make that call earlier. And just a little tire wear update. Now 6 laps onto those inters, and it looks like the wear's regulating a bit more. They're up to only 18%. So getting to the end should be still a bit worrisome, but not an issue at least. They just need to be careful not to spin when they get to.
Van looking for a move on the inside of Meat Shield here into turn 3. Takes it very cleanly and makes it work for him. He's got the pace, and Meat Shield was holding him up. And he's got a little bit of work to do to catch up to Juan, try and get more positions. Everyone has RPM bugs for me. It's making it kind of difficult to follow people around on track. But Figlin, we got a little, within a second to Van, Meat Shield, Figlin, and Rad. Starting to see more penalties coming out. Looks like Drakenwolf has spun out of the pits.
Nope.
Or near the pits.
Yeah, spun out of turn 1, but he didn't come out of the pits.
Figlin almost rear-ending Meat Shield in the cops. I know that feeling, and it's giving Rad a chance to catch up to the side of him. They're going side by side through Maggots and Beckett's. Really touching tires here as Figlin's guy throws the hand up and does not give Rad any space in the chapel.
Yeah, Rad had to go around the outside there, and just because it is the wet line and not drying up, he did lose a whole chunk of time there. If it was in the wet, I don't think you'd really have a problem banging around the outside there, but because obviously it's not dried up on the inters, it's going to be a bit more challenging and will drop off some time going into out of Vale now, down into Club. They are... Yeah, it doesn't look like Rat's going to be able to recover that time. Figlin might be going for a move on Meat Shield like he saw Van do. Van was able to disappear 2 seconds to Meat Shield after getting by him. And I think Fig might think he's able to do the same thing. Fig does look like... Oh, and Rat's coming back on Fig now through turns 3... Oh, very close. Turn 4, that's through Arena onto the straight now. And that is Is that the Hamilton Straight? I'm not sure.
I don't think that's what they call it.
Well, one of the straights is the Hamilton Straight now.
It starts with an H. I don't think it's Hamilton.
Anyway.
Not named after Lewis. Or is it? Is it just coincidence?
No, they genuinely named one of the straights at Silverstone after Hamilton. After Lewis Hamilton.
MLG retiring after...
Spinning out turn 2.
Yep.
The GT3 straight is Hamilton. Great. Thank you. Ooh! Rad coming close to collecting the rear of Figlin there. Has to dart out of the way for a second. MLG expressing his discontent of the game in Tier 2 chat. F this game, he says, after retiring from spin on turn 2.
I know that feeling sometimes, but also, I mean, is it the game?
Yeah.
I want to be. I want to be as supportive as possible, but at the same time,
you can dunk on Cody's for a lot of things, but
yeah.
people dunk on them a bit too much.
They definitely have their shortcomings. Figlin really going for a move here.
Yeah, he keeps setting himself up for the inside, coming into turn 3 there, but does it? And he gets by Meat Shield coming into turn 4. But yeah, he kept setting himself up on the inside, but he was just too far back, I guess. Well, I'm really not sure what the idea was there, but he is through now, coming through Brooklyn's. Oh, and Rad just rear ends Meat Shield there.
Radical. Yep, getting a little wing damage into Meat Shield's tire there. Meat Shield not having enough pace, and some of these guys being kind of impatient. Rad.
Now down the Hamilton Straight into Cops.
So this ought to be interesting. Meat Shield looks like he backs off and just lets Rad by to avoid any potential problems there. Van not catching up to Juan. Juan falling back on Rosemore. So, but importantly, if Van can get that 3 seconds, stay within that 3 seconds to Juan, and not pick up penalties himself, he will recover back up to P5 and at least get some decent points out of this. He will lose out some points to Rose and Wags. Now that I say that, Van picks up that penalty.
That Ferrari 2-3 right now is looking very strong for their constructors' chances. I'm not sure what the obviously not being there for Austria is going to hurt them a bit. RIP Tack, but it is going to propel them forward. Maybe leapfrog AlphaTauri, who are not having the best of times here. Astro not even going to pick up points. Rose only in P4 after the we'll call it a pit. It's not really a pit stop blunder. It's nobody else did it. 2 guys were able to make that strategy call. Good on them.
Yeah, for sure.
I think one of them's gonna have to be the driver of the day, and I like. It's got to be Blaze Alex, right? I know we gave it to him last time, but like he went from P16 or whatever, played the strategy right, and not lucked himself, but strategied himself into P2.
Yeah, I don't want to limit it simply to just gaining the most positions, because we've seen plenty of people start at the back and know that they can make through the front, and if that's fun for them, that's fine, but that is not the mark of what I think, but making the smart call. But you could also say the same thing about Lepson, because he was behind at the time, and now he is quite a ways ahead of Wags.
Definitely giving it to Lepson then, because that is something that Blaze Alex is able. We know he's able to do. He's obviously done it quite a few times, and Lepson so far has had a pretty faultless race, whereas Blaze Alex has been involved in a few Russell tussles, we'll call them.
Russell tussles. Namesake after George Russell, of course.
Yeah, tussling with Valtteri Bottas in Imola.
Yeah, Lepson's kept it pretty clean from what I've noticed. Just staying smart and staying clean. Got himself a penalty, but he's not the only one, so can't really fault him much for that around Silverstone sometimes. Everything's spreading out. Vans, not sure what I just passed there, but Van has caught up to Juan now within a second, looking for an on-track overtake. Maybe he thinks he's got the pace to gain, well, not that much time, but he definitely has to overtake him now because of the 3-second penalty. So I wonder if that's what he was doing before, just kind of holding back but once he picked it up, he kind of picked up the pace too. No chance unless Rosefest spins for either of them to catch him.
I see the start-finish straight is called the Hamilton straight. This is just the GT3 pit straight. Thank you, Cricket, for fact-checking yourself.
And that second one is, it starts with an H2, and I can never remember what it is.
Hanger straight?
No. Is it an H? Maybe it's an M. I want to say Merrifield, but that's not right. Someone will tell me, or I can look it up at some point. Regardless, again, Van, I'm going to hang out with him for a little bit. He's trying to gain on Juan. Both of them with 3-second penalties, hoping that the other one, each of them hoping that the other one gets more. Both their tires around the same. More importantly, Van has made more stops because he made that one stop for the wing change at the very beginning. Got that safety car to bunch him back up. So he has not gained or lost any positions, neither has Rosefest, Juan, or Figlin from their start. A little bit of movement towards the back of the field as well.
Well, Niall, if you wanted to know what Juan's ERS and tires were, you could look on the telemetry web app. But just for you, I will let you know that he's at 18% with 80% energy.
You can go ahead and type into that little chitty chat there, a little bang telemetry, and get the answer that you need.
Yeah, how about this, Niall? I'll bang for you.
Bang, of course, being a exclamation point. How did the... Oh, Niall just did it. The tools are there for you to use. Van almost losing it.
Saving a moment there.
Yeah, Juan pushed a little wide there, so I don't know if you picked up a warning or anything for that, but...
They are both on one warning. I did check, so I can go check again whether he did or not. Van also, he did not, by the way, but Van also doing a nice recovery race. He's obviously wet injuries because he had that little Russell bustle tussle.
He's really trying to push hard and get past Juan.
Yeah, I mean 2 laps to get this position on track, and it will be an on-track overtake if it does happen. Fig dropping off fairly significantly from them, 4 seconds, and it does, like, yeah, if I'm Van, I'm saving everything until the last lap and sending it into Stowe. There's not really much else to do. I know that Juan does have more energy than him. Just to reiterate, Van, Juan has more energy than you. So, fight him into Stowe, where you don't have a very long straight to give him an opportunity to repass you, and then sandbag it. That is how you do it. LPTs. Although that does require you to be close, and right now you're kind of dropping off a bit, which is unfortunate.
Got a bit of energy. I don't know how much fuel he's working with here.
I can easily tell you. He is working with 0.3 laps of fuel, whereas Lepson is not Lepson, Juan is a lap over. So +1 against plus a third of a lap.
And as we know from the qualifying times, both of them have pretty good pace on each other. So one of the racing points going pretty slow. Looks like he got a little loose out of turn 1, causing a yellow flag there. As atmosphere, that was Quirk. His atmosphere works by Quirk. Wag setting another fastest lap.
Looks like the conditions are just improving on the track. Van's now outside of a second to Juan. Not that it matters because there's no DRS, but there you go. Rose now taking a 137.0 for the fastest lap.
I always found it funny that if it's like 0.19, they'll still call it a 0.1. I'm like, really? We're gonna argue over 100th of a second? It's 0.2 seconds.
Oh yeah.
Why list them if you're not going to talk about them? Both of them very slow into turn 4 here. Dan trying to get a much better exit. Astra with a 3-second, not helping him down in P11.
And they're both deploying a lot of energy down this straight. Coming into Brooklands now through Luffield and not gonna pronounce it because Evie's kind of ruined this corner name for me. Down the Hamilton straight now. Leading into Cops, and it does look like Vans is pretty close. I wonder, he is, going to be dropping a bit of time. I bet Juan was deploying a bit there. Vans does shift down, lifts a lot. One more lap to go. And it looks like, wow, yeah, Vans lost 2/10 through, just before Cops, and then back through Meckens and Beckett through the S's. He regained that time.
Yeah, it looks like Juan is using as much of his deployment as possible. Stay ahead of him here, as the leaders are on the final lap, and these two will come around to join them on that lap. Lepson quite handedly leading this race now. Go ahead.
Juan's down only to 50% energy, Van 40%, so they are more even. Juan's obviously been using a lot of his energy to defend against Van. If we're going to see a move again, I would recommend that Van not do it on this straight or the next, but wait until Stowe. I know it's going to be a bit risky, but it is your best opportunity to not let him just come back by on you. That being said, Juan does have a bit of a sloppy exit coming out of arena down this next straight, whatever the hell it's called, down into Brooklyn's. Juan setting himself up for the inside, going off the dry line just a bit. That's yellow flags, don't care, as Van's really closing in now on Juan, but will it be enough as they come now through left field, down onto the Hamilton straight? Van has to lift just a bit from the corner exit to make sure...
Old pit straight.
Old pit straight? Right.
I thought Hamilton was the current pit straight, the F1 pit straight.
Yeah. I fucked that up. Well, that's unfortunate, as it is unfortunate that Van seems to be losing ground on Juan, as Lepson takes the race win here on track, and 10 seconds behind him will be coming Blaze Alex.
All right,
and now Van's deploying. It doesn't look like he's going to have room to make it. He's going to have to keep his deployment up and see if he can't get it through Vale. But it does not look like it. Juan is a bit slower on the exit. No, he's a car length too far back. And yeah,
oh!
Oh my lord! What, Van? Van's gonna get it through Club! Oh my god! That Van's connection comes through for him!
Wow.
Man!
I'm not sure if that was exactly what was happening as what we were seeing on stream here.
Van, you need to call up your ISP and thank them. That was on them. I did almost the exact same thing to Tack through in like 2019, some 5-lap race, just slammed right through him, ghosted all the way through him through Club, and got the race win. That was that. That's exactly what that was. Oh my god, Van. Well done to you, sir. Well done to you and your internet. Honestly, I want to say Van's internet service provider is his driver of the day, but I'm not sure if that's
Verizon DS, brought to you by Verizon DSL. Congratulations to Lepson for a very nicely done win here. As I'm going to bring up this Wellington straight.
Wellington. Okay.
Wellington.
Wow, Wellingtons would be useful here, wouldn't it? Raining.
The Hangar Straight International Pits Straight has been renamed Hamilton, and the old one is called National Pits Straight. Woodcott?
Woodcott. Unfortunately, EP500 pronounced it Woodcock all of last stream, and it was unbearably funny.
Well, things happen. 2 Ferraris on the podium, quite a lot of points for them. I know you're thinking...
Yeah, that'll be a good haul for whenever our Juan. Okay. That'll be a good haul of points for Ferrari whenever Tack decides to resurrect himself from the dead. R.I.P. Peace be upon him. Is there anything else that we need to do before we end the stream? I would like to mention, if you're interested in donating $5 to charity and having some laughs, some goofs, and some good old times, we are running a series of charity races during Pride Month, the month of June. $5 entry fee for any race you want to compete in, and it will be donated directly to the Trevor Project. We are running in ACC, iRacing, AC, F1, and this is brilliant. I love this. F1 Race Stars. If you don't need to own the game, but if you want to race in F1 Race Stars, now's your chance.
I honestly think more than anything, I'm looking forward to the F1 Race Stars because I think that's going to be a whole whack of just ridiculousness. I have no idea what it is, but based on what I've heard, I'm hoping it's going to be great. Yeah, the rest of it, still some more plans. We have any solid dates for any of them yet?
We do. ACC is going to be running their, I believe it is a hour race, I want to say, at Kalomo or whatever. The one that starts with a K that nobody likes.
Kailani, South Africa.
Yeah, that one. They're going to be running GT3, GT4 mixed class, and it's going to be June 12th. iRacing will be running something called a home run derby at Daytona. No idea what that is, but that's going to be June 18th, and they're probably going to be 9 p.m. Our usual race time, not 100%.
I think for Assetto Corsa original, we're playing with a few ideas, but it looks like we might be doing some Formula Students track or cars at some slightly modified versions of real life tracks.
So you tell me you're doing mini Spa?
We quite possibly could be doing a series of some petite tracks, but we're looking into them.
Petite tracks.
Yep.
Okay.
They call them the I think the La Petite series or something like that. I don't remember off the top of my head right now, but that's the scuttlebutt, as it were.
Do you want to take Eau Rouge and Radion, not only flat out, but do you want to take it just at once, like your entire car goes over it in a single second? Congratulations, you found the track for yourself.
And get airborne.
Exactly.
That'll
be all for the broadcast tonight. Thank you so much, and goodbye.
Have a great